So, hey, it's MK. I thought that I would pull on real quick. I was asked to be a little designer for page maps, and this was the layout that I was asked to design for. And I started, and then I thought, well, why don't I just record it? I haven't done a video for a very long time. In fact, I need to be a little bit better at that. So I challenged myself to, if this makes any sense, but since all of the designs are very small bits of paper except for the background papers, I thought that I would go through my Halloween paper and pull out all of my scraps and things like that. Anywho, I already started, in case you haven't noticed, but it's all, let me lift it up real quick because it's not really, it's all scrap. Honestly, I've got a hole here. I got a hole here. I pieced together this piece because it didn't go all the way through. I'm just using scraps. And then I've got this piece. I can't remember where it's from, but it's like a shimmery orange. Here, this one's better. It's like a shimmery orange. And then it's black, a shimmery black on the other side. So I like that I can do either black on one side or green, or it's not green, orange on the other. And then a couple of my elements in the sketch are round. And so I had these acetate pieces in my in my hot little hands forever. So I was just getting ready to attach all of these pieces, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna turn the camera on. And I'm not sure if these acetate pieces have that film or whatever that you're supposed to take off. They do. Look at me go. Here we go. Ooh, that's much better. So I went ahead and I cut out the swirly bits of my acetate piece so that way I could put my photo behind and have it more showcased on top of the paper or on the picture rather than behind the picture. And then I also kind of changed the pictures up some. So instead of using two small photos here, I took the measurement and made one large photo. Same size as if it was supposed to be. Yeah, okay. If it was supposed to be, so I have a 5.5 by 3.5 photo here, plus a photo mat, and then my 4x6, and then this one, instead of being 2 by 3, it's actually my own size. I did print a 2.5 by 3.5 going up and down. I don't have a whole lot of photos going this direction, horizontal, and I didn't like it. I like the larger photo more better. I like the larger photo better. That didn't even come out better anyways. So anyways, I did kind of change it up from the original sketch and whatnot, and now I am deciding whether or not I'm deciding if I even like it on this cream, but I am going to use this gray right here. But I also pulled out a black piece of cardstock to see if I wanted it on black instead of the white or cream. It's actually cream. It's not, I think it's called vanilla. Ooh. So I like how my photos kind of stick out more on the cream. I like this a lot better. So no black, it's going to be cream, and I'll trim down the cream on two sides. So I'm just guessing, because that's one of the things I like about page maps is it doesn't have measurements, so it's what you interpret it as. It's how you want to put your photos and things. So I'm cutting 1/4 of an inch a 1/4 of an inch off one side and then 1/2 an inch off on the other side, so that way when I put my paper down, I have a 1/4 of an inch around my gray bit, around my gray piece right here. And then this is the main photo here. Ta-da! And I really like these circles. I'm glad I was able to pull them out of my stash. Now I had these are what we call, what Close to My Heart calls zip straps. They're the branding strip at the top of all of their pattern papers, and I was going to put this as a shelf that my daughter's picture is going to be resting on. However, it kind of gets lost in the swirl, and I like the swirl being her shelf. So I'm going to leave it as is. I haven't decided if I'm going to sew yet, but I do need to make that decision just because I have some lump and bump, some loads of stuff that I want to add to this layout as far as embellishments. But I'm just getting all of the ingredients on first. And this one is going to get cut, and what is that called? Border, can't see it. You can't see it. It's right here. It's going to get a border punch, and the one that I pulled out is this Martha Stewart one that has the spider webs. I think that that will go really good because of some of the embellishments that I chose for this layout. So I'm going to do I think I'm going to cut the 1/2 inch first. I think that's what I'm going to do. That way I don't have to worry about cutting or punching more than I have to. Not that 1/2 an inch makes a difference, but hey. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll put the spider webs where I want, and then I can cut off the extra bit that I don't need. I thought I'd put you on fast forward for the majority of this video. Now with this Martha Stewart punch, it has like a guiding line that I really, in between the designs, that I really didn't like. So once I'm done punching it, I'm going to take a few seconds and trim off all of those little lines, so that way they go below the design and they actually kind of blend in a little bit better. I just think that's for alignment. I'm not sure. Now the sketch also shows that the large cardstock is stitched around the edge, and so once I see where my design lays down, I'm going to decide if I want to stitch or not, and I do. I definitely want to stitch. Now this sewing machine has several different designs that are programmed in it, and I'm just seeing right now which design I like and which one's going to rip through my paper. And the one that I choose looks like it's cracked. It looks like cracks along the edge. And there's a lot of bits where my sewing machine made mistakes and things like that. Now this is a stamp set from Close to My Heart. It's very, very old. It's up my alley. I love gears. This is also an acetate sheet piece from Close to My Heart many moons ago. I'm trying to decide if I want to even use it. I designed this journaling spot in Cricut Design Space. And now that I have all of my elements, I'm going to start gluing my pieces down. Now that I have made up my marbles, trying to make sure that I get all of the pieces. And you don't get to hear the squeak of ATG McSqueaky. So I absolutely love these acetate pieces, and I'm not sure exactly why I've been hoarding them. I have about 5 more to use, but they're not themed like this one was. They're not, they're just designs. They've got swirly stuff on them instead of having actual animals and bats and skulls and stuff. So I am just putting the elements down where I think I want them to go. For right at the moment. And I want to tuck that acetate sheet into where the corners aren't shown. So that way it doesn't look like it just dead ends nowhere. Now this is a very old, these pieces here are very old rub-ons. I wasn't sure how they were going to stick, but they stuck really, really well. I mean like 2010 old, from close to my heart. And I have a bunch of stuff that I just randomly went through all of my embellishments and things to see what I wanted to put on this page. I stamped some bats and cut them out off camera. And I found some glittery chipboard stars. And I really wanted to use those gems, but they don't end up making it. I wanted to use that hat pin so bad because of the hat. That doesn't end up making the cut either. And I really wanted to use this damask little swirl. And I found some brads that have, oh, what are they called? Spider webs inside them. But I'm not sure if those make the cut either. I try really hard. And here is where I find out that this piece is metal, and I bent it trying to get this brad inside. I'm trying to get it back into shape and flatten it. I had no idea it was even metal. I thought it was chipboard. And now, of course, it isn't a layout made by me if I don't tear something up. Still trying to make that hat pin work. And the part that you guys don't get to see, and I really do apologize, is that I have a bunch more elements, not a bunch, but a few more elements that I lost during the process, and I did not put them on until after. Still trying to make those gems work, not going to happen. But I end up putting those other embellishments on after I was done filming. I just spaced it and didn't realize that they were lost. I forgot about them. I'll admit it. I forgot. So now I'm just going to glue everything down. I put a brad on that little ticket, that gray ticket, and it actually just says 31. It was this brad that I had in my stash. I think they're Echo Park brads, but I can't remember. I'm not good at that. But most of the papers, I think the little acetate swirls are from Little Yellow Bicycle. Oh, many moons ago. So now I am just gluing everything down, and I went into my stash and found some letters that I want. Now I really wanted that orange is kind of like a burnt rusty orange, and so that's kind of what color I wanted my title, but I wanted the word mad to stick out a lot. And I do this all the time. I have so many white letters just because they're more alterable than, colorful letters. So most of my stash is full of white letters. I don't, they're foam, they're thickers, it doesn't matter. And so now I am blending two colors to get the color that I want. And I think that it turned out really well to the color that I was actually looking for. So I was pretty proud of myself. It's a aha moment. Yay. So, and then foam doesn't dry very fast. So what I'm doing is basically, I'm not rubbing, I'm actually like stamping, like using the letter as a stamp. So that way I can, speed up the process, because I'm definitely not one of those with patience. And now I am putting all of my letters on one bit at a time. I still haven't gotten used to using my guiding, what are they called? The guide rulers that Thickers has made. I have them. I just don't, I use them when I want to make a curve, but then the curve ends up looking weird anyways, and so I end up still putting them on by hand. I mean, I use the curve to get the gist of it, but then it still looks weird, so I end up altering it with my hands anyways. I cut a little dot in half to get my apostrophe for the word where. And now I am just fiddling with my letters, getting them to go where I want them. And I'm going to put, so the best part about my daughter, she was born in the 2000s. So the 16 could either represent the date or her birthday. You know, not her birthday, but her age. Okay, so here is my layout. Here was the sketch right here. And here is how mine turned out. So here's the one page. Not much at the bottom of that one. And here is the other page. All right. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you liked my layout. Thank you.